Hey everyone and welcome. We are a team of six exchange students and today I'm taking you on exploration of a city you probably think you already know, Hauda. But we weren't just here for the traditional history and the snacks. Beneath that perfectly preserved traditional surface, we found a really fascinating question. How did a small Dutch city like this develop such a complex and unique multicultural identity? We found stories stretching from historical Jewish life to the settlement of Moroccan guest workers in the 1960s. When you look at Hauda, what instantly comes to mind? We're in the city famous for that amazing market hall, those iconic screw waffles, and of course, being the city of cheese. It looks like the most perfect, typical historical Dutch city, right? We definitely came here to soak up that classic history and confirm its reputation as the birthplace of the stroopwafel and the cheese capital. Today we're going to uncover both sides, the historic how that you expect, and the diverse community that was shaped by centuries of change. It's truly a story of small city, big diversity. Ready to explore? Let's jump in. We're starting with a traditional household located in the western Netherlands, specifically in the province of Zuid-Holland. Just so you know, it's about the 40-minute train ride from Leiden Central, totally accessible. First up, we have to visit the Stadhuis van Gouda, the iconic landmark and the very heart of the city, which represents Gouda's long traditions. Next, we're heading indoors to the Museum Harada. They manage about 40,000 objects. What's super unique here is their collection of 16th century altarpieces. Most altarpieces in the Netherlands were lost during the iconoclasm, but these amazing works of art survived right here in Harada. You can also check out the 17th century civic guard pieces and the famous 20th century Hauda earthenware. The museum also features an exhibition about feminism. This display explores 6 centuries of women's history, highlighting the ongoing waves of emancipation. And we found some cute souvenirs at the museum shop too. Okay, time for a snack. Our next stop confirms Hauda's reputation as the famous city of cheese. The staff explained that the cheese they sell is supplied by farmers nearby, that keeps the tradition and quality alive. This cheese is still made the traditional way on farms around the city, and because it's unpasteurized, it keeps that special taste. You might even get to try the enormous jumbo cheese. It weighs a whopping 60 kilograms. Due to its limited production, this farmhouse cheese usually isn't available for export, but you can definitely buy it here. Finally, we have to grab dessert because Gouda is the birthplace of the stroopwafel. Believe it or not, it was actually invented for people who couldn't afford more expensive biscuits. If you visit the Kamphuisen syrup waffle factory, you can experience a trade that has been going strong over 200 years since their secret recipe dates back to 1810. These elements, the majestic stadhuis, the deeply rooted museum, and the famous cheese and stroopwafels perfectly showcase Gouda's historical and traditional aspects. Gouda isn't just about classic history, it's a living city shaped by different people over centuries. We are focusing today on the two main pillars of Gouda's current multicultural society, the Jewish community and the Moroccan community. We'll start with the long but challenging history of the Jewish community. Initially, Gouda was quite restrictive. In 1746, the municipal council even tried to bar Jews from settling in the town. However, by the close of the 18th century, enough Jews had settled to found an organized community, eventually building a new synagogue on the Topmark in 1827. But their prosperity was shattered during World War II. Jewish children were barred from public schools and deportation began late in August 1942. Tragically, almost all the Jews living in Hauda were deported and murdered. We visited memorials to honor this history. The Jewish Gateway is a memorial on the site of the former Jewish old age home, the place from which almost all residents were deported. You can also see stumbling stones embedded right in the pavement, marking the last homes of the victims. Now let's move to the second major pillar of diversity, the Moroccan community, which represents a more recent formation of multicultural society. This community arrived largely due to the guest worker programs in the 1960s. The government needed to fill labor shortages in industries like construction and agriculture during the Dutch economic boom. Starting between 1965 and 1973, large numbers of Moroccans were recruited as guest workers. Although many planned to return, they stayed due to the economic recession of the 1970s and the desire to settle permanently. The subsequent family reunification process established a large and permanent Moroccan Dutch community. We visited the local mosque as a central hub for this community. A representative shared that they came after the war to help rebuild the Netherlands. How that diversity was historically shaped by early Jewish settlement and more recently by the planned but later permanent migration of Moroccan workers and their families. These two stories show the profound changes that created the multicultural city we see today. And that's our day in Haga. What surprised us most is how the city balances tradition with change. You get the iconic cheese market, waffles, and that dramatic Gothic town hall, but you also find stories shaped by migration, memory, and community. It's a place where centuries-old history and modern multicultural life aren't competing. They are layered together, and that mix is what gives Hauda its personality. So yeah, it is the perfect example of a small city, big diversity. Thanks for watching.